Welcome CSE 103 to our discussion assignment, your student intro, and also your discussion pick, which is exercise 1, where you're going to edit your pick, hopefully. And what you're going to do first is do your discussion. Now, they're two separate assignments. So to do your discussion, your student intro, you're going to go to discussion board, and you're going to go down to student introductions, and you're going to click on that link, and you're going to scroll down, and you're going to add post. Now, when I do this, it's not going to let me. It's going to say you don't have permission, so I'm going to go back into faculty view to do this, but it'll be the same way. So I'm going to go down here and go into student introductions, and I have these fake things in here that I do every semester. I'm going to add post. This is what you would do. And for your subject, you're just going to put your name, and I'm just going to put in Steve Smith. That's me right now. And you don't have to put anything else. Just put your name in there. And then down here, you could put anything personal, things you want to put in, hobbies, where you are in school, what classes you're taking, what major you have, anything you do outside of class, anything you want to share, family stuff, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. So I'm going to put I like horses. I always put this. I like horses and frolicking in the rain and other stuff. I have another post, so I'm not going to put a bunch of stuff in here. So I like horses, frolicking in the rain, and other stuff. That's what I like to do. And that's my post. Now you could have something different in here, and you could also make it bigger. You could go in here and make it 12 point. You could go in here and use Georgia. I like Georgia as a serif font to use in here, so 12 point Georgia would be nice. I'll show you how you can actually space it out a little better, but that's good for now. And that's your intro post without a pick right now. So when you're done with it, you can just hit submit. And that'll be your intro, and I'll know who you are. And then for your first assignment, where you're actually going to edit a photo and put it in here, I'll show you what to do next. Now, you can come back to here. You can come back to discussion board after you do that and go in here, student introductions, and find your post and be like, oh, there's the one I did, but I didn't put my picture in yet. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit edit and put my picture in. But I don't have a picture to put in yet. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to find a picture either that's on my hard drive somewhere or even online. So whether you get one from your camera and you put it on, and the idea is you're going to crop it and make a little headshot, something like that. So I have two options here. I'm going to go into Google Photos, and I'll find a shot. Here's one from Christmas of me and my son. That's when I grew a beard. Obviously, it's not a real beard. And here's one of me standing by a wreath. I could crop my head there. I don't know how that'll look. And if you don't want to put a picture of yourself, put your dog. Here's a picture of our dog here. You could put the dog in here. So I'll show you different options to do. So how are you going to do that? Well, an easy way is to just open a new tab and go to photopea.com. Photopea.com. It's like Photoshop. Photopea.com, and just go there. You don't have to make an account. You don't have to do anything. Now, what you could do is you could open a file from your computer. So that may be easier if you're on a Chromebook and you have something that may have been downloaded. Because some people have had issues copying from websites and putting it into Photopea. But if you're going to open something from your computer, you could go here, and then I have those things in my downloads. I'll open up this one right now. I'll just open it up into Photopea. And what I'm going to do is I don't want my son in the picture. I just want my headshot. So I can go over here to this crop tool. So I'm going to go over here. Now, don't even worry about the name yet. Just go to the crop tool. And what you can do with the crop tool is just crop the picture. And I'll just crop it to my face. So I'm not resizing yet. I'm not doing anything else. Just kind of cropping it to my face. And don't worry about how big it is. Just make sure it looks decent. So there's my headshot. I could kind of move it around a little bit. Make it a little bit smaller. And then when I want to crop it, I just have to hit enter. There it is. It's now cropped. There's my shot that I have on there. So I could even lighten it up. My shadows of my beard are a little dark. I could go to image adjustments, shadows highlights, and move this over. And you can see it's lightening up my beard a little bit. It's on preview. I'm going to turn it down, not so much, but I'll lighten up my beard a little bit. And I'll hit OK. And something else you could do is go to image adjustments levels. And we'll talk more about these. And you could darken the shadows. You could lighten the highlights and lighten the midtones. I'm going to lighten the midtones a little bit because my face is a little red there. So I'm going to lighten it just a little bit. And then even go over here and lighten the highlights. Now you may not have to do all this, but I want to lighten the highlights, but I don't want to bleach anything out. So if there's any white or anything like that, but I'll lighten it up just a little bit. That looks okay. And I could even darken a little bit. Now I already lightened the shadows, so I don't want to go back and darken them all up again, but I could add a little bit of contrast, and that looks okay. And that's fine for now. That's my picture. Now, what you can do, you don't even have to resize it here. What you can do is you can go to File, now not File up here, it's going to be File here, and you're going to go Export as JPEG. And you can put a name in here. So I'll just call it Rich Beard for now, because that's the one with Rich Beard. You don't have to put .jpeg, because that'll use a JPEG. And we're not saving the Photoshop file right now. It's just Rich Beard. And it's saying 490. Now, I don't want it 490. I want it like 120. And that'll be the final photo that I take. I think I say 150, but 120 is probably going to be good too. So I'll do 120. If you click here, it'll resize it. And 120 is probably fine, or 150, whatever. I think 120 will be okay. We'll see when I do it. So I'll save this down, and what will happen is when I hit save, it'll save a JPEG to my downloads called richbeard.jpg. And there it is. And there it is. It's in my downloads. And I'll go get it then. Now, here's another option. I'll close this up. I could go here, and if I have something on Google Photos, let's say I want to do my dog. I'm embarrassed about using my face. I want to use my dog. I don't like seeing pictures of me. I'll click on this picture of my dog. Now, you have to click on this to see the full picture. And what you should be able to do is right-click and do Copy Image. And then go back to Photopea and go New Project or File, New Project. Whatever you copied, it should actually make a new project that size. So I'm going to hit Create, and then I'll just paste it. And it should paste it on a new layer like that. And then you can go to the crop tool. Here's the crop tool. And I'll crop it because I only want the dog's face right now. Just like it's kind of you. There's a headshot of the dog. And there it is. And then I'll hit Enter. And I'll do the same thing. Now, if I have to make any adjustments, I can. I could go to Image, Adjustments, Levels. There's no dark shadows there. But maybe I'll brighten it up just a little bit. Brighten up the highlights just a little. Not too much. You don't want it to get bleached out. Just a little bit. And I'll hit OK. And I'll do the same thing. I'll go File, Export as JPEG, and give it a name, and I'll just call it Dog. And I don't want it 434. I'll do it 120, which should be fine. I think I say 150 in the notes, but 120 should be fine. And if you click down here, it'll adjust the other size, and I'll hit Save, and that'll download it. And it's saying something here about ad blocker. Okay, so that's two options. And then also another thing I just want to mention, I'll close this up, and I don't want to save it. Let's say you had an issue copying. You're on a Chromebook, and some people had issues copying and pasting into Photopea. You could just download this. How about this one? Here's me with the wreath. I'll right-click, and I'll do Save Image As, and I'll just put Rich Wreath, and that'll download it to my computer. Okay, so I'm downloading it to my computer only if you have a Chromebook and you have issues copying. Otherwise, you could copy and paste this. And then I'll go here, and I'll open from computer, and I'll open up Rich Wreath. There it is. Now, I only want my headshot here, so I'm going to go to my crop tool. And now this is a smaller picture, so it may not be really great quality, but again, it's just a little headshot. And I could zoom in here, so you could do Control plus to zoom in and see it a little bit better. Control plus, whether you're on Mac or Windows, you could do that. And I'll move this around, and I guess that's a decent headshot here. And then I'll just hit Enter. And now it's cropped. And I'll go to Image Adjustments, Levels, because it's a little on the grayer side, and bump up the highlights a little bit, like that. That looks okay. You could even bump the midtones just a little bit, my face. You could even darken it a little bit over here by bringing in the shadows. That's about it. I'll hit OK. And again, because it's a small picture and I cropped it, it's losing a little bit of quality because it wasn't a very close-up picture. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this one just like I did the other ones. I'm going to go File, Export as JPEG, because that's the best option. And it already is at 142, so I'll maybe just make it 140. And it's already called Rich Wreath. Now I'll just call it Rich Wreath Fin because I already have a Rich Wreath, and if I save over it, it's going to say Rich Wreath 2, so I'll just say Fin because this is my final, or I'll put final. That makes sense. And I'll hit save. Okay, so now I have all my images. I'm done in Photopea. Don't have anything to do right here. Could close this up. So hopefully that's not that hard. We'll do more with Photopea. We'll do more photo editing. But just for now, to get your picture in there, I want you to just kind of practice with that a little bit. So how do you get it into your post? Go over here to your post and just hit edit. And then put your cursor in here and just hit like return right about there. So it's after your description or whatever you have in there. You could look at my original description, my instructor introduction, to see what I have. And to put your photo in, don't mess around with any of this stuff down here. Choose files, add all that, skip that. What you want to do is just go right here where it says insert image and click on that. And then go here, this is the source icon, so you got to go kind of upload it. This is kind of like the upload button. And you're going to come in here and you're going to be like, what the hell's this? This is some Moxie Manager thing in MyWarren e-learning. And it's not going to be in here, so you got to go upload. And then just go find it. So I'm going to go find dog pic. Here's dog. I could use that if I want. And I'll just see how that looks. Let's say I didn't want to use my own pic. I'll put in dog. And let's just see what this looks like. And then I'll hit insert. And I'll hit save. And there's the dog pic, and that's a good size. And then when you're done, you could just hit submit. And then you might say, well, you know, everybody else put pictures in and I put my dog in. Maybe I should put me in there. You could hit edit and go back in here. I'll just backspace. I'll click here and I'll backspace. And maybe I'll put a picture of me in here. So I'll do insert image. I'll use this source file button. And then I have to go upload if you see this thing. And I'll put in the image of Rich Beard. There's the one with me with the beard. I'll put that in there. And then I'll hit insert. And I'll hit save. And there it is. There's a picture of me with the beard in there. And again, don't use any of this stuff, and that's all you need. And then you could hit submit, and you're done. Now, finally, you look at it again, you think, wow, that's goofy with the beard. I should have a nicer picture of myself. You could always go back and hit edit. Click here, backspace, and now I'll put the picture of me with wreath. I'll click on here, and I'll go to source, and I'll hit upload, and I'll go to Rich Wreath and see how that one looks. I'll hit open, then I'll hit insert, and actually this is the wrong one, so I'll cancel. And I'll click here, and I'll hit source, and I'll hit upload, and it's Rich Wreath. Oh, final. That's right. I gave it that other name. Rich Wreath Final. And I'll hit open. And I'll hit insert. And there, it's 140. So that's a little bigger. I'll hit save. And there's my Rich Wreath. And that looks okay. And that's all you have to do. And you could hit submit. And that's how you get your picture in your discussion. Remember, you don't have to put a whole lot of personal stuff. You could put about your major and courses you're taking, any hobbies you have, anything cool you've done, or whatever you like to share. Some people like to share stuff. Other people don't say a whole lot. But that way I get to know you a little bit more because it's an online class, and other students get to know you a little bit more. And I know what you look like and all that. You know, I feel like when I'm emailing, I know who I'm talking to. You know, I think that's a little bit helpful for an online class. So that's all you have to do for your discussion and your discussion pick. So two separate assignments. One is doing your discussion, and the other is putting a pic in and using Photopea. The reason I'm saying to use Photopea, we're going to use it again for a couple other assignments coming up. We're going to do a quick practice yellow teeth, and then we're going to do 2 assignments where we actually layer things on top of each other and make a composite image, and then we're going to do something where we actually take people out of a photo. And actually, let me show you, because these are the images right here. You're going to put this dog in front of this soccer goal, and you're going to get rid of the background. On this assignment, you're going to make her teeth white, look a lot better than they do there. And on this assignment, you're going to use the clone stamp tool and get rid of all the people in the background and just leave ocean there with these 2 people in the front. That one's probably the most challenging one, and on Chromebooks, the clicking sometimes is an issue, so I'll try to go over that a little bit more and record new videos for that, because I had older videos for the past courses, the past couple semesters. So that's what we're going to be doing with Photopea. So again, Photopea is a cool Photoshop-like program, and you don't have to create an account or anything like that. And it works almost exactly like Photoshop for just about everything. So you can copy and paste things into there, you can open things, and you could even save them as PSD files and then export them as JPEGs. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's our first assignment for discussion and discussion pick. Make sure you do that. And again, you can always go back and edit and put another pick in if you want. But do your discussion first, then put in your pick, and make sure you edit it. Make sure you crop it, whether it's your dog or something else, so that it's a small headshot around 120 or somewhere around there. And you can also go in here and scale it a little bit in here if you want to. If you highlight on it, you can grab the corner and make it a little smaller. If you want it 120, you can do that. But don't put it in like, 2,000 pixels and then scale it in here, because it puts in a large image. So you want to put in an image that's close to the real size in here. And then just hit submit, and then you're done. So that's your first kind of discussion and discussion board pick assignment for CSE 103.